Hey, it's me, Steve. It is July 14, 2017, and it is Geo-rant time. Time is 16:47, temperature 70 degrees Fahrenheit out. We've had a pretty mild day today. I actually did a rant while I was at work during lunch today on this topic, and I deleted it because when I got done rambling, it was 10 minutes, and I was like, holy crap, how did I ramble for 10 minutes about uniformitarianism? And then I watched it and realized I was digging way too deep, and so I'm going to keep this as short as I can and simple, and I'm only going to talk about uniformitarianism as it applies to the history of the Earth, because that's where the term originally comes from. It's a geologic term, but it can be expanded to everything, to like include the universe, which is actually Wikipedia's definition of uniformitarianism, which is not a good one. Encyclopedia Britannica's isn't even a good one. The only decent definition I found about uniformitarianism was actually on dictionary.com. I was actually kind of strangely offset by that. But I just want to explain what uniformitarianism, how people perceive it, and what it actually is when talking about geology. All right. A lot of people, a lot of critics of it will sit there and their basic definition that they have in their head, even if they don't define it, you can kind of tell by the way they talk, is that the processes we see happening on Earth today have always happened in the past at a specific rate. That's not what uniformitarianism is. All uniformitarianism is, when applying to geology, means the processes that we see today have operated in the past. That's what it means. It doesn't tell you how fast. It doesn't tell you on what scale. It just tells you that they've happened. Now, obviously, there's a time before uniformitarianism could have happened on Earth, like before Earth's formation. But and we know there's periods in Earth's history where what we see today obviously wasn't going on. We are aware of this. It doesn't affect uniformitarianism. It just sits there and shows you that we follow the evidence, and then we readjust our ideas in light of that evidence. All right. But what's uniformitarianism is how we watch and look around today. 4 billion years ago, there was processes going on, and at the time, those were uniformitarian processes. And still, a lot of those happen today, like the heavy bombardment. From the formation of the Earth about 3.8 billion years ago, asteroids, meteors, and probably to a degree comets were pelting the Earth, as in the beginning on literally a minutely basis, and as you got closer to 3.8 billion years on a daily basis, then a monthly basis, and then it trickled off. But it still happens. We still have meteors and asteroids hitting the planet. It's just not every hour. And it's just not huge ones. And once in a while, a big huge one comes in, like the one that wiped out the dinosaurs, the KT one. But uniformitarianism doesn't not allow for catastrophic happenings, okay? But there are things that we observe that we have absolutely no reason to think they operated differently in the past, even before Earth. Now, those obviously wouldn't be terrestrial geologic issues, but since galaxies started forming, stars started forming, we're pretty sure that if you take a positively charged sodium atom and combine it with a negatively charged chlorine atom, it's going to form salt, just like it does today, just like it did yesterday, just like it did 100 million years ago, 1 billion, 10 billion years ago. All right? We have no evidence to say that never happened, that was different. All right? Now, so that's radiometric dating is another one. All right? Atoms are observed to decay into other atoms, some atoms, not all, just unstable radioactive ones, at a certain rate for that element. Without getting into too much detail, we observe that this happens, we can measure that this happens, and there's no reason to think that uranium decays into lead. We observe that today. There's no reason to think that didn't happen, like with the salt example, 1 billion, 10 billion years ago. It just So uniformitarianism is not the, we see the Mississippi River at its present meandering course today, and what it does today, and the amount of water going through it, and the amount of landscape is exactly how it was 10 billion years ago. Excuse me. Well, there was a word 10 billion years ago, and we know from the flood of 1993 that that doesn't happen. But the flood of 1993 isn't anti-uniformitarianism at all. We've known that those 500-year floods happen. We've known this for quite some time. It's just, it's a part of the process. It's not separate from the process. Catastrophes happen. Some are really slow. Some are really fast, like asteroid impacts really fast. Others are really slow, like the formation of the Grand Canyon. All right? It doesn't say, uniformitarianism doesn't say anything about the rate or the scale. But anyway, that's my rant, and I hope you learned something.